Well, thank y'all for coming out today. Obviously, it's an exciting time just knowing that, game week is next week, and we've had plenty of practices. I think we're at day 29, and we're just anxious to see a different color jersey. Alabama A&M will have an exhibition game today, and I think, they're a much improved program. They finished second in the WAC a year ago behind a very good NCAA tournament team in Jackson State. I think they return a lot of faces and have added a lot of pieces from the portal. So it's going to be a great opportunity to open up. We're excited about, at 5 p.m., having a doubleheader with our men. With your military ID, it's our Bama Salute game. We'll be honoring Shakira Wade, our former player from Huntsville, Alabama, who's now over in the UK with the Air Force. And so, all veterans, military ID, get in free, and then you're welcome to stay for the men's game. So it should be a fun night of basketball, and we're just ready to kick things off.
In the offseason, you got a lot. We've talked a lot about the transfers, but specifically Sarah Ashley Barker. What was the process in getting her back home to Alabama?
Well, we had such a strong relationship in the process initially. So I think that, it was obviously, a little bit surprised that she went into the portal. But the minute that she did, we obviously picked up the phone and just, had such a great relationship with her in high school. And, at the end of it, we respected her decision and we moved forward and she moved forward. But I think it was a simple, it was a simple decision on our part because we knew the character, we knew the work ethic, and we're just excited she's back home. I mean, I think we've benefited from the portal with high character, hard-working kids. I'm excited about Sarah Ashley and, all the other new faces.
Hey, Coach, we just talked to Loyal a little bit. How important is it that she joined the team back in January of last year and had all of this time to kind of gel and to kind of get used to practicing with the team?
Well, I think it's really important, especially at her position. It really has benefited her. Anytime you can have a backcourt player who obviously, their decision-making, their understanding of the offense is not that it's not difficult for a post player, but I think it really put her a step ahead as far as understanding our system.
Hey, Coach, I know there's a lot of excitement around the season starting in just days from now, but can you talk about practice and how excited you are to see this team finally get on the floor with how hard they've worked and some of the ways they've improved?
Well, it's been really competitive. And, we're at a point now where our practice guys have been a real blessing for us, giving us a different look, physicality. But it's just time to play. I think, you can only practice so many days, 30 or 40 days from our first playing date. Back in the day, it was October 15th, and you only had 3 weeks. Now you have much more time. And so I think it starts to take a little bit of its toll, and we need a different preparation. It's just exciting. I mean, this team is excited and ready to play, and I think that you're going to see, just a fun brand of basketball from them.
Hey, Coach, I know obviously you have a lot of new pieces on the team, but how have some of the leaders that have been here really stepped up through the offseason?
Well, they really have. We've just had great leadership. I feel like, returning 5 starters, that always puts you a step ahead because of the experience level. But I just think their vocal leadership, I've really challenged this group, especially Hannah, Meg, Brittany, Jada, and Brittany, all 5 of those kids to be more vocal and not just be an action leader, but help lead the way on the floor, off the floor. And I think, when you talk about who are our leaders, I think it comes by committee this year. I think we have multiple strengths from a leadership standpoint, and I've seen them all really step up and do a good job. I also think that, when you bring in new faces, it's interesting to see them kind of step up and start to assume some of those responsibilities as well, because we do bring in some experience. Aaliyah Nye is it just does so many things for us. I mean, Sarah Ashley Barker is such a great leader. I mean, Carly was in high school. I mean, it's just a neat group of kids as far as their character and, showing each other the way and trying to support each other every day.
Hey, Coach, you just had a first game. What's the health status of the team?
Right now we're doing great. We've had nicks and bruises and a few things. We're still, Myra Gordon had a surgery here a few weeks ago. We're still taking that day by day, but, as far as everyone, 12 or 13 are ready to go, and we hope we can stay healthy. That's such a critical factor to everyone's season in any sport is staying healthy. And so right now we're as healthy as we've been, and we hope we can stay that way.
Hey, Coach. How much more difficult is it to prep for a team early in the season when you maybe don't have as much film on them?
Well, it's become more difficult because of the transfer portal. I think a lot of times you would see incoming freshmen in the summer, you understood their tendencies, whoever you might be playing, and you'd understand having seen them throughout the last 3 to 4 years. But, style of play and system is probably more important right now than anything, and trying to understand. We understand, how A&M played a year ago, and that's what we've kind of drawn from in scouting. And obviously, we'll have a chance today to watch their exhibition, we think. So we'll see if that comes through here in a little bit on YouTube. I think that's the plan. So we're just anxious, too, as coaches, I think, to watch and be able to scout and not have to go off previous. Same thing with Tulane. I think Tulane has an exhibition against Loyola and then Grambling State, so we should be able to see the Grambling. So, and Tulane has a big change in their roster. So it's a hard time of year as far as really being accurate. And I think that's where you have to focus on your strengths and be who you are, and not get so caught up in who you're playing, but do what you do and do it really well with a lot of energy.
A couple more questions for Coach, starting with Ashley.
Hi, Coach. Last year, you kind of established your starting lineup pretty early in the season, but with so much depth that you have this season, are you thinking about playing with different lineups in the beginning of part of the season and then maybe establishing later on, getting towards SEC play?
Yeah, I think that's just going to take some time to see Ashley where it falls and where it evolves and who's healthy, and maybe based off who we're playing and matchups. So right now, honestly, today I don't have one for Monday, and we're just taking it one day at a time and trying to figure that out. But I do see us being throughout the year, whether it's starters or starting the second half, just depending on who we're playing and situation and who's playing well and who's practiced well that week.
Kind of off that, you have 10 people who started a season ago at their respective schools. And you mentioned you don't even know who you'd start on Monday. How has that helped the competitiveness, but also just the depth overall for the team?
Well, I think, it all starts with each and every one of them. It's just been their selflessness thus far. They just want their team to win. I don't think it's so much about who starts, but who finishes. Each and every minute of 40 are just as important as the other. So, we've tried to talk an awful lot about it's not always how we start, but how we finish games. I think it's the same thing come starting time. So I don't think we need to get too caught up in who starts and who doesn't start. That's not a good thing from a chemistry standpoint. So we're just focused on how can we be the best that we can possibly be at that point in time and situation in the game. Thank y'all for coming out. Look, there's some snacks back there, I think. So we appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all Monday. Roll Tide. I like that hat.